Hey everyone, my name is Emmy Joy and welcome back to the Shine Joyfully community. I am so grateful that you are here today. In today's video, we will talk about something very important, which is social media. I will be sharing some thoughts on social media and giving you some strategies on how not to let social media use you, but to use social media intentionally. So the topic of this video is how to use social media so it does not use you. If you're curious, let's get started. My first tip for you is to be mindful of what you're consuming and what you're creating, what you're sharing with the world. So what I like to do is go through every single person you are following and ask yourself, is this person giving content that makes me feel good or that expands my awareness in some way? What am I getting out of this content? Always check in with yourself to see how you feel after seeing this post. So for me, I basically looked at all my followers and I follow people who inspire me. I actually really love reading the captions on the posts because it's just like fun to see other people's thoughts who have like similar perspectives. They also believe in love and light and joy. And I go on social media because I want to be uplifted. I want to be inspired. That's my intention when I go on social media. So what is your intention? And the people you are following, are they resonating with that intention? So if your intention is to be educated, okay, great, that's awesome. So now when you go on social media, do you feel like you are becoming more educated? If your intention is to expand your awareness, when you go on social media, do you feel like your awareness has been expanded? So these are great questions to ask yourself and just to do little check-ins. Like when you go on social media, are you comparing your life to other people's? And just a little side note, remember that what people share on social media is the best life, like the best version of their life. They share the best parts of themselves. So just like be aware of that part of social media. Like, yeah, some people can share the darker sides of life too, but most often it's usually like, oh, I'm chilling at the beach, you know? Which is great. I love seeing when people are super happy and like living their best life. That's great. But back to my point, be mindful of what you are consuming and how it is making you feel. Like I said, for me, I love consuming inspiring content, and that's why when I go on social media, I feel good because I'm like, yes, this is like a community. That's one of the reasons I love social media, is because it feels like a community of like-minded people, since I follow people who I resonate with. So it's like, oh, it's so nice to see other people who I can like relate to on these perspectives. I love that. And we all have different perspectives and we have like some things in common as well. So just be mindful of that. And then on the flip side is be mindful of what you are sharing, what you are creating. So for me, I also love to share inspiring messages on social media. I mean, that's one of the reasons I have this YouTube channel, so I can share this inspiration with you all. And I also use my Instagram a lot to write beautiful captions that will uplift people. And I create photos that like are vibrant, that when you see them, you already just like feel better. And I just started doing this recently. I love it. I start sharing videos on my story, on my Instagram story. It's almost like an online journal where I kind of share like little moments of magic and miracles from my day with other people. I share my story with other people because I think when we are being authentic and genuine and sharing our story, that just inspires people to share their story as well. And that's how we create community. That's a big thing for me in social media. It's all about community. And how are you fostering that community? How are you fostering those relationships, those connections that you may not even have known these people if it were not for social media. Social media is so cool because you're able to connect with people from around the world who you can share ideas with, who you can exchange information with, who you can just like inspire each other with. I think social media is such a powerful tool if we use it with intention. if we are mindful of how it is making us feel, mindful of what we are sharing with the world and how what we are sharing will affect other people. So is your intention to uplift people? Are you giving content that will inspire people to be their most radiant, joyful selves? That's my intention. I just want to uplift people and inspire people and embody the change that we wish to see in this beautiful world that we are creating. My first tip was to be aware of what you're consuming and why you are consuming it. My second tip is to be aware of how you are consuming it. And that can mean a whole lot of things. So let's get right into it. For one, ask yourself, how much time do I spend on this platform? I usually use Instagram, but you could be using Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all sorts of social media channels. Whatever. For now, Instagram. How much time do I spend on this app? I like to put a time limit. Maybe like 30 minutes or so is good. Or for example, like I don't want to be on social media for more than 1 hour a day. So I can be maybe like 30 minutes 2 times a day. Or maybe like 15 minutes if I have other things to do. Because that's another thing I want to mention. It's about balance. Like, remember that you have a life to live. You have a life to live. And that can include your career, that can include service, that can include your hobbies, just like balancing all of that, balancing your relationships as well. And the reason we can put a time limit on social media is so that we're not spending a whole lot of time on it, so that we can use that time to live our lives. Because when we're on social media, yes, we are sharing our lives, and that's great. But just imagine if you were on social media most of the day, then it's like, well, what do you have to share? Like, obviously we all have lots to share, but what I'm saying is the greatest inspiration is when we are living our lives, when we are out in nature and just, you know, spending time with life instead of being on a phone looking at other people's lives. When we are inspired by living our own life, that's when we can share that on social media and inspire other people to also live their lives and not to be on social media all day, every day. So put a time limit. 30 minutes a day, it works for me. That's usually what I do. And when I am not using the Instagram app, I actually delete it from my phone. And that's super helpful. It's not like you're deleting your account, you're literally just deleting your app. And that's great with temptation. So if you ever feel like tempted to go on social media, like let's say you're bored, for instance, and you just want to, you know, like scroll on social media, scroll on Instagram, see who posted what. You may feel more tempted if the app is still on your phone. However, if the app is no longer on your phone, then you may be like, oh, maybe with this time I have, I can go outside and take a walk. It's noticing how much time you have in a day and becoming more aware of how you are spending that time, and if you are doing things that are that are creating enthusiasm within you, that are just like making you feel more grateful and passionate to be alive. So have those time limits, delete the app from your phone. And another thing that's really crucial, super duper important, is to be aware when you're just scrolling. You know those moments when it's like you just keep scrolling and you think you're gonna stop at this photo, but then you just keep going? That is like a form of addiction in a way. Because it's like you feel like you have to just keep scrolling. And in that moment, you are not in control of yourself. Social media is controlling you because you want to stop, but you don't. Your finger just keeps going. And that's where the issue comes in. And it's also very, like, become aware of it, accept it, that's okay, and grow from it. There's nothing wrong in doing this. It's just becoming aware of how it's making you feel. I personally know that if I'm just scrolling, even if I'm reading inspiring posts, it's just too much. It's almost a little exhausting because it's like so much stimulation and you really don't need all that information all at once. So I have a few people on social media that I really resonate with, that I am truly inspired by, and I look at what they posted, maybe anything on their stories, and that's it. Instead of just like scrolling mindlessly all day, I have that intention, I go for it, and then I delete the app. And I realized that when we keep like watching everyone's stories or like scrolling on social media, it almost creates a numbing effect, right? It's like you might have an emotion within you, but instead of dealing with that emotion or releasing it through dance, you would instead go on social media and just scroll. And then you're just like trapping or hiding that emotion in your body instead of like playing with it and seeing what's there and how you can let go of it through healthier ways, healthier channels, I guess. So to wrap up that second tip, I know with each tip it's like a whole bunch of different tips in one, but it's all related, so I kind of put it as tip number 2. Delete the app when you're not using it. Create a time limit for yourself, and notice excessive scrolling and if it's making you feel numb. Whenever you're feeling bored, try a hobby. Go out for a walk, take a breath of fresh air. I promise you that will make you feel so energized and so ready to do whatever is next in your life. And it will help you embody all the qualities that are in your heart. It'll help you embody that love and that peace and that joy when you're outside and living your life. And my third tip, which is kind of related to my second tip, is to take social media breaks, to practice social media detoxing. And that's kind of what it sounds like. It's basically about not being on social media for a day, or maybe for 2 days, or maybe for 5 days, or maybe for a week. I actually just experienced a social media detox. I did not log on to Instagram for an entire week, and I'm really proud of myself. I feel so good. The reason I love social media detoxes, well, a lot of reasons. It's just, it reminds you that as great as social media is, you are not dependent on it for your happiness or for like boredom or whatnot. You just realize that, like I said earlier, you are living a life, and life doesn't have to revolve around social media. Social media is one way to share your life, but it's not life. Big distinction. So when we take social media breaks, we have more time to experience the glory of life. Because remember, when you're on social media, that is time, like you are spending time, and time is precious. So how are you spending that time? It's okay to spend time on social media. Like I said, social media is a powerful tool for transformation if used with intention. And we gotta live our lives, as simple as that. So this week, it was actually very easy to take a social media detox because I am balancing school. I'm a university student. I'm also balancing extracurriculars. I'm balancing work. I'm balancing an internship. And very importantly, I am balancing my self-care practice. Take that to heart. So with all of this, and of course like relationships, like there's a lot to balance in life. So with all of that, like, you realize you don't really need social media that much. You really don't. And I've noticed that a lot of people do take at least one day off of social media just to create space in their lives and, you know, just like let go of that attachment, really. I think that's one of the main things. When social media is using you, it's almost like you are attached to it. And that's what we want to release. We don't want to be attached to anything. We are free spirits. Yes. So let go of that attachment and go after your dreams. Let me know if you decide to take a social media break and what shows up for you, how that makes you feel. Like, maybe have you ever felt tempted to go on social media during that break? Or what are you doing during that break? Honestly, all of this is about awareness, just like becoming more aware of how you respond, how certain things make you feel, and just like how you're growing from all of this. Remember, this is all about growth. There is no right or wrong. We're just growing through it all, learning lessons, receiving blessings, and just allowing our souls to expand. That felt really good to say. Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As a little recap, the 3 strategies I have to share with you on how to use social media so it does not use you are: 1, to be mindful of what you're consuming, how it's making you feel, why you're consuming it, and what you are creating / sharing with the world. 2, to be aware of how you are consuming it, so taking those little time limits, those 30-minute time limits, deleting the app from your phone, becoming aware of excessive scrolling and that numbing sensation. And 3, to take social media breaks and detox from social media. Yes, I hope you resonate with some of those tips. Maybe you've already tried them in the past, or maybe you have not and would like to try it in the future, so let me know in the comments. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do. And please follow my Instagram as well, Shine Joyfully, because I do share a lot of uplifting content on there. And final thoughts. Let's get into those final thoughts of social media. I believe that social media can be a transformative tool if used with intention. Social media is a way to create community with each other, to share ideas, to share information, to just create connections. And I actually just watched something and it inspired me so much, so I thought I would share it with you because it might make you go like, whoa, as well. What if the internet did not only include humans, but also other species? So what if we could communicate with the plants and the animals and Mother Nature with the internet or some other means? These are ideas that are flowing because we have social media to share them. In fact, the founder of the internet is actually already envisioning this concept of an interspecies internet. Wow! Even the chimes are like, wow! So remember that social media is powerful. You can think of and allow any ideas to come through and share them with the world, inspire other people, because we are currently creating a reality. What reality are we creating? What reality do we want to live in? And that occurs day by day by the choices we're making, by the ideas we are sharing and receiving, and by the qualities that we are embodying, the qualities that we are embodying from within. I choose to embody joy, kindness, and gratitude. So grateful for life and all the possibilities that life has to offer, and all the possibilities that social media has to offer as well. So thank you, social media. I'm so grateful. I'm using you with intention, and let's just keep expanding with love. I hope you all have an inspiring, lovely, creative, balanced day. Much love always. Mwah.